This video is brought to you by PrizePicks. On with Derek Bell. He covers the Pittsburgh Steelers, does some great work there. And I think what everybody's fascinated to see is this post-Tomlin era. And my question to you is this actually a post-Tomlin era? I know Tomlin's not there, but the things that bothered people about the Tomlin era and the overall direction of the organization still feel to be very much in place. It's just not Mike Tomlin at the face of it anymore.
Yeah, I think, I've probably been more negative on the Steelers than I have the other three teams that we've talked about on the podcast. So I'll be positive here. I think if you're trying to spin it in that way, I think that the McCarthy hire at least is a signal that they're willing to prioritize the offensive side of the ball. That would be the selling point. They've never done that. Part of like Tomlin's like shortcomings, especially just like been the inability to hire coordinators. Like they have not done a good job, like on the offensive side, especially, but even on the defensive side, hiring coordinators. With McCarthy, like anytime you have a play calling head coach, like you kind of get that bundled in. You don't have to worry about other teams poaching those guys after you have a good season. And to McCarthy's credit, when he was matched up with Dak in Dallas, I think they went 12-5 3 straight years. First year was a little rough. Takes a little bit to get the system implemented. You got to get the players that you want. The regular season success, McCarthy's like fielded good offenses for the majority of his career. Now, I would probably push back a little bit on the idea that like he's like an offensive like mastermind. I think there are other guys that are just doing more to create advantages through the scheme that he is at this stage of his career. And obviously the Steelers don't have Dak Prescott, who is a good quarterback. So we'll see what that looks like. But I think the best thing I would say about the McCarthy hire is like, for me, it's just maybe if he does, reach like his peak or can rekindle some sort of his magic as like a play caller, the Steelers could get to higher heights on offense than they've had at least since Ben's elbow injury. And I think that would be the best case scenario for them moving forward. And, he does have a track record of like developing quarterbacks. I think that some of it like could be overblown. That was like the main selling point for him. Like when he went into the Steelers interview, just like knowing how some of the things like went down behind the scenes, like that was something that he came in with a very clear plan and vision on like, okay, this is like what I would do. Like, this is what my quarterback school looks like. Here are some examples of guys I developed in the past. Like, I definitely trust. I don't know that there is such a thing as like a quarterback whisperer. Or, I don't think anyone has a good track record when it comes to quarterbacks. Just the volatility of the position creates that. I definitely trust him a lot more with that than I did with Mike Tomlin. Like I don't think that Tomlin, after the Kenny Pickett experiment, like I don't think he had any inclination to go try to develop another young quarterback. That was not what he was going to do. He was going to continue to try to bring in these veteran guys that are over the hill that he thought he could maybe, try to win one more with. So that's the selling point to hire Mike McCarthy. I'm really stretching it, but yeah.
Tomlin definitely hired. He definitely went about the quarterback position exactly how you expect a long-time defensive coordinator to go about it, right? Like these are the most Vic Fangio coded quarterback signings of ever, right? We go get Russ. He won a Super Bowl. We go get Aaron Rodgers. He still got it. In the draft, you're like, only a defensive minded head coach will think that Kenny Pickett is appealing, right? Like offensive guys gonna look at all the limitations that they can't use with him, but defensive like he can run and he listens. So I like him, right? Like
no, the big thing for Tomlin is they don't turn the ball over. That's the big thing for Tomlin.
I mean, Kevin Stefanski picked quarterbacks like a 30-year-old defensive coordinator. He was an offensive mind. So like I understand that struggle there. But that does bring me to the question of like, when do you think the Steelers are going to take a swing, like a real swing at the quarterback position? Because obviously, since the post-Ben era, maybe we could count Kenny Pickett as the first swing that they've taken, And even then, it's a late first rounder, which really isn't the same as taking somebody in that first half of that first round where you're likely to commit like 3 years to him. But Kenny got a year and a half, basically, right? And then they let Mason take the job from him. When do you think the Steelers are going to like really take a swing at the future of their quarterback position? Because it's been Band-Aids at the Band-Aids after the flame out of Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. I mean, what they're doing right now is just like the articles and stuff coming out, like basically uninstalling Drew Aller's, previous learnings at Penn State. And they're trying to build like a Frankenstein quarterback, basically, like trying to say, like, okay, he has like the rocket launcher of an arm. Can we teach him to do everything else? Can we fix all the mechanical stuff? I I don't know how you would feel. I don't know that there are very many successful stories of that actually happening in the NFL. I can't really recall one to this degree, but I mean, they took him with the 76th overall pick, so that's some sort of investment there.
It's hard to imagine that happens with a quarterback who's played as much football as Drew Aller has. Like maybe if he was like super raw,
Yeah.
but like he's what, a 4-year starter at Penn State?
Yeah,
He's
he's
played a
played a good
lot of
amount of
football.
ball. And then to your question, I still don't think that Aller thing, unless he showed like real promise, like let's just say plays really well in the preseason, which isn't real football, to be very clear. Plays well in the preseason, and then maybe he gets a spot start or two down the stretch, or if Aaron has some sort of like nagging injury, say he plays like 2, 3 games and plays there's flashes there. Maybe there's one bad game, two good games, something like that. Then I think that could maybe convince them enough to like, okay, we don't necessarily need to feel the need to go be aggressive in 27. I just think that that's what they should do. Now, again, there's a lot of caveats with that, right? Like, what does the 27 class look like? How many of those guys actually take the steps we're anticipating? How many of those guys declare? Where are the Steelers in the order? Like, do the Steelers win? Do they somehow win 10 games again this year? Do they fall back? I mean, do they fall back and win seven? That's a big differentiator, right? Like that's the difference in picking, 20th and 14th, and those are going to that's big cost differences as it pertains to the trade up too. So I think it'll be next year if I had to guess, but I can't say for sure because, it's the Steelers and that's just how they operate.
They're gonna be like, we're gonna take a big swing, Derek. We're trading for Bryce Young.
Nah, he's too young for them, man.
Yeah, my bad. The Tua's gonna have a hot couple of games, and they're gonna be
Yeah,
like, "Hey, we're bringing back Tua, baby."
who's the 30, yeah, who's like the 33, 34-year-old quarterback who like is probably past
Jared
his
Goff.
peak?
Jared Goff.
Yeah, maybe Jared Goff. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see
Jared
that.
Goff
Yeah.
feels like
Who knows?
maybe one
Goff's still
more.
playing
Maybe
solid.
Matt Stafford and the Rams finally break up, and he's like, "Hey, Matt, bring it back." I mean, it would be on
Good
brand.
God.
PrizePicks is a fun way to earn cash while you watch your favorite teams. No complex betting rules. Just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. Here are my picks for this upcoming season, AFC North edition. Jimmy Bernard, I have less than 475. This has to do with volume available in Pittsburgh's offense. Quincy Judkins, I have over 975. Browns improved line. I think the run game's going to be better with it. Chase Brown, under 900 yards. Joe Burrow equals less rushing yards usually for the Bengals offense. Mark Andrews, more than 475 yards. Lamar's going to need a safety blanket. Check to see if PrizePicks is available in your state. You could follow me on the app at Quinn_C to see all my lineups. Download the PrizePicks app today. Play $5 and get $50 in lineup to download the app using the link in the description. What do Steeler fans want out of the post-Tomlin era? Because there's been a lot of frustration that we're chanting fire Tomlin during the season.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's not just that they want a new coach. They want something new from like the organization. Like, what is it that you think that Steeler fans like truly want to see and would be happy? What does a happy season for the Steelers look like this year? Is it only playoff success finally, or is it something else? Like an organizational directional change or something like that.
I don't know. I mean, I think, in my experience, at least with like, heavily with the Steelers fan base, I think there's going to be circles of people that are always going to be like upset. And then there's going to be circles of people that are always going to like cape for the organization. You know what I'm saying? And like, unfortunately, those segments of people take up a mass amount of the fan base. I think the rational fans probably would understand that this is not going to be like a 1-year thing and they're going to go to the AFC Championship game this year, right? Like you have to give, regardless of if you agree or disagree with the McCarthy hire, like you have to at least give him a year to get like everything situated the way that he wants. You know what I'm saying? Um, and get the roster where he wants to. So I think that's the realistic thing. I would say that the most rational takes out there that I think is just, again, it's just the lack of postseason success. I think that there are people like I think I tweeted this out like a couple months ago, but like I didn't really realize it until I said it out loud. Like there's a segment of Steelers fans now that are old enough, that are smart enough to understand football, that have never seen the Steelers actually win anything meaningful. And when I say winning anything meaningful, that might be different than what other people say, because they would say like winning the AFC North is meaningful. To me, that's just like, I don't want to say like I'm taking it for granted, but that's cool, that's good. But like I'm talking about playoff success. When you haven't won a playoff game in a decade, I mean, there's people in high school that probably don't even remember the last playoff, win that the Steelers had. And that's crazy to think about for a franchise that, again, treats like, has a historic, reputation to them. Some of that is deserved. Recently, it's not, in my opinion. So I would just say like more postseason success, or some form of like vision on how they're going to get there. Like one of the things that I try to be really consistent with is like being like process oriented. Even if the process isn't something that I agree with, can I see like a vision? Under the last like 3-4 years for the Steelers, I'm not even sure of like if I can really see the vision. Like there's a lot of conflicting kind of moves that they make. There's not a clear, this is how we, view the team when we're gonna theoretically hold up the Super Bowl trophy. So that for me is like, even if the McCarthy era doesn't work, like for example, if they traded up and got aggressive in 27 and landed like a quarterback that I thought, had the potential to be a guy that you could, win in the postseason with. Even if that doesn't work out, I would still commend them and say, like, yeah, like you took a big swing. It is what it is. That's different than taking a guy like Kenny Pickett in the first round, who has no upside, in my opinion, like as a starting quarterback. I thought he had like very, very minimal upside. So I just think like for me personally, I would like to see better process and some semblance of a vision. I think for the rational fan, it just comes down to like, can we win a playoff game every now and then? Like that would make, I think, a lot of people, kind of come from off the ledge, if you will.
Yeah, ideally you would want to win a playoff game and then like it be with a young quarterback, right? So that you can attach like, okay, there's some kind of answer there with some youth about the future. Because
Right.
if you win a playoff game and it's like Aaron Rodgers' last ride, that's cool for Aaron Rodgers fans and that'd be cool for Steeler fans. But then if you're going into next year and you don't know who the quarterback's going to be, then it's hard to carry it over. Like you want something that you feel like you can legitimately carry over. And I think that's kind of been another factor for the Steelers' frustration is like, even if the Steelers do have success, what are they going to carry over from this year to next year that's going to make it like something you can build upon, right? Like, and like have legitimate hopes. Because I think what you're saying is like a lot of Steeler fans are at the age where like they're in high school or they're 20 years old and they've never really known what it's like to root for them when they could achieve greatness, right? Every playoff run, basically since the Blake Bortles elimination was the last one they.
Yeah, it hasn't even been close. They've just been getting throttled.
It's just been like, okay, you're playing on Peacock and you're getting beat by the Chiefs, like
and the game's over by halftime.
Yeah, it's not. It's not what it's basically like being Chicago in the NBA. And making the play-in every year, or the Heat, right? Like, oh, we're always in the play-in, and then you get cracked in the first round. So, yeah, I can understand the frustration there with Pittsburgh. Be interested to see how all that lines up. Again, I think I told you this in the last segment. The only way I think Pittsburgh will wake up if they see Cleveland surpass them. They're going to be like, oh, no.
Dude, honestly, I don't even really – I mean, I would say of the AFC North teams – I have probably the least, I'm pretty objective these days, and I definitely have had the ability to like remove my emotions more than I used to when I was younger. I have very little beef with Cleveland at all. I would say that I still hate Baltimore. That's the only probably team that I hate, though. Like I just don't like losing to, I would say, even in my current state. But if Cleveland getting better forces the Steelers to get better, I would honestly be all for it. Like, go for it. Like, y'all, go win a playoff game, please. Like, go win another one. Anything to force the Steelers out of their own, like, dead set ways, I think would be a good thing for everybody involved, including my sanity.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think shocking enough that will pierce inside like that deep bubble that it seems like ownership is in with Pittsburgh, where it's like,
oh yeah, they're definitely in their own world.
Yeah, they're in their own world. Nothing's going to pierce that bubble. Oh, well, the Bengals had a good season. Joe Burrow's really good. We don't have a quarterback yet, right? Oh, well, the Ravens, they have Lamar Jackson. We're going to get a quarterback. We're going to get to that point. If the Cleveland Browns, after 25 years of them like hilariously not being able to solve that problem, find a way to solve that problem and then surpass you, that's bursting the bubble. That's bursting the bubble from the deepest points in which that bubble has formed. Because now it's like, wait, Cleveland did it, but we can't? That will if there is no wake up call before that wakes them up, that is the last thing I think that could happen. I'm like, okay, that will wake up Pittsburgh because there's no way that they see that and think everything's fine. Like everything else they can see, okay, it's fine. Cleveland getting better than them, that's like seeing pigs in the air for them, right? Like that's like hell freezing over to Pittsburgh. Like Cleveland is the butt of every joke over there. And if they, like, it's like when Ben got beat in the playoffs by Cleveland, it really mattered to Ben to beat Cleveland both those games in 20. He cried after one of those games. And he didn't even play well, Derek. He played badly in that game, and he cried because, like, that's how much the perception of being better than Cleveland means to them. And I think you need to just, root for the Browns for the next couple of years. If you want things to actually change for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it's unavoidable, Derek.
I'm done holding out. I'm done holding my breath that things are going to change.
They will hire Nate Schillhouse tomorrow if the Browns surpass them.
I am very much of the opinion that I think that the way that the Steelers are going to get out of this will be via like lucking into like another like transcendent type quarterback. And honestly, like whatever it takes, get it done. Because I'm tired of being in the middle band of the middle class of the NFL, aka what I describe as purgatory. So
yes. All right, man. It's been a great time to have Derek on. Make sure you guys go check out Derek wherever you can find him. And Derek, can you remind them where they can find you?
At Steelers_DB on Twitter and YouTube. Like I said, obviously I cover the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I also do a lot of draft work. So if you're interested in prospects and stuff, I'm always pumping out draft content, aiming to do a little bit more of that in the summer than I have in previous years. So kind of already underway there.
There'll probably be some Browns fans over there to check in on a Drew Aller, see how that's going.
Yeah,
right?
there is the I do encourage people from other fan bases to come over. I think people that do like probably appreciate like the objective, viewpoint that I have. But if you're interested in the draft stuff, I think you'll at least find some value in that. So
yeah, and if you're a football fan, which I imagine most people who watch this channel are, football is interesting, even when it's the Steelers. It's even more interesting when it's the Steelers. And honest to God, look, Derek, I appreciate you being at a place where like it doesn't affect you as much. But boy, when the Steelers lose in a bad way, I feel better than the Browns winning sometimes. I ain't gonna lie.
I grew up obviously a Steelers fan, but my father was also a Duke fan. So like I inherited that, and like that's the thing is like I at least have Duke, and Duke has had some of the worst postseason losses imaginable over the last decade. But I do appreciate their vision, their ability to kind of transcend different and navigate new eras and things like that with Shire. But that's the thing about being a Duke fan, that has prepared me for anything. Like when Duke loses, it's a national holiday around the world.
Oh yeah. You are fans of the two programs that everybody loves when they lose. Like
dude, when Duke lost in the tournament, I probably got no shortage of 15 different mentions, like just like talking bad about, like just joking on me because of the way that Duke lost, and I'm just like, I didn't even do anything. Like I don't even really tweet about basketball on my personal account on there. So yeah, that's how it is, man. But it comes with the territory. I mean, it is what it is. And
the crazy thing, Derek, is it's not even what it used to be with Duke. Like people don't really hate Duke like they used to hate Duke.
Oh yeah,
like, they used to hate Duke. It used
to be way worse.
But it's like no, the whole country used to hate Duke. Like it used to just be like fuck
Personal.
Duke. like the whole college basketball season will be built around, oh, I can't wait till Duke loses. Right? I think JJ Redick was the last, the team that JJ Redick was on was probably the last era of that version of Duke.
Grayson that
Grayson
era,
and there, people
because
didn't
of
like
social
them.
media
It was pretty
tough.
dicey.
But yeah, now that it's mostly like one and done,
But
I don't think that there's as much attachment to the hatred of like specific players. It's really just like, still the logo like people don't like. But yeah,
it's amazing.
I'm used to that.
That Duke, like that JJ Redick has gotten to the place that he has because like people hated that man.
I know, and now everybody loves him. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's like everybody's like, JJ is such a nice guy. Dog, people hated him when he was a child. Sent him death threats routinely, just hated JJ Redick. They were celebrating that they thought he was a bust early in his career. Like, it was crazy the kind of change that's happened with him. But, we'll see how this fall goes for you. If there's more fans kind of basking in your misery this year, or if you have some joy to celebrate. But it's going to be interesting to see. Definitely got to check in with you during the season as well. But make sure you guys go check out Derek. He does great stuff. Everybody else have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.